Hello and welcome back to the show. This is MDR Hustle Files. I'm your host Victor Kiala, and today we are with an author, the one and only Frederick Wafula. Welcome, bro.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having you on our show. So let us get down to business. Wafula, can you briefly introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us what inspired you to start writing books?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you so much for having me here. First of all, I'm grateful. My first time, and it's an honor. It's a great blessing. Frederick Wafula is my name. I come from Kakamega County, a place called Mumias. I'm married to one female wife. We are blessed with 2 boys, Promise Fanaka and Presifa. And we stay here in Matu. And I am an electrical technician, certified EPRA technician by profession. And I'm also an author of 7 books. I'm also a poultry farmer. I write chickens. I'm also a motivational speaker, a mentor, and also a praise and worship trainer. And all those I do under one package or one initiative called Fresi Motivations and Advisory Networks, which are the major objective and aim is to bridge the gap between the dreams and reality. So that's who I am, and I thank God for that.
So basically we can say you're a jack of all trades.
Of course. Some people call it a coat of many colors.
The scholars call it that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that was very nice. So, you know, in this industry, many people dream about writing books. But what inspired you exactly to actually start writing?
Every journey has a beginning. And I can say inspiration comes from different forms, from different points and different dimensions. My journey is a long story. It's a bit funny because how I began writing books, it came from a certain failure, something that I was trusting God to become a reality and failed. And I was in a relationship, trusting God to marry. That was back 2016, 2017. Funny enough, the lady I was dating with, we were in engagement with, used to tell me, anytime we had a disagreement, she used to tell me, I don't love the way you are not immature. You are so immature, the way you express yourself, the way you talk, you are showing some symptoms of immaturity. And I'm like, how? Just because I'm expressing myself, I'm immature. So as we continue having conflicts, ups and downs, disagreement, reached a moment, she said, this relationship, I'm cutting it off. I'm no longer interested in being in this relationship again.
And at this time, were you writing?
No, I'm not even no idea of writing in my mind. Never even thought I can become an author. So unfortunately, things fell aside or went against my desire. Then we parted ways. So one day I was in Iruma, Redeemed Gospel Church, during a youth service. I was planning to go to Chumbi, a place called Makutano in Machakos County, to have a service there. But the person who was to send me fare, one of my friends from place called Utawala, failed. So I decided to pop in that church and have a service there. I was staying in Huruma. So when I was sitting in a service, I was having my own notebook. I was not concentrating. I was so stressed up. Then something popped in my mind asking, Fred, you are told you are not immature. But why don't you write something to disapprove this mindset that lady was telling you are not immature? Why won't you write something about maturity? Something that shows that for real you are mature, not the way she was thinking. So immediately from that point, I had a pen. I was not concentrating in a service. I began writing short notes on how to be mature, how to mature up, symptoms of maturity. So I came up, at the end of the service, I found I've written almost 3 pages of the short notes about maturity symptoms.
Okay, so let me try to understand something.
Yeah.
So you were in service?
Yes.
So let's say, did the word of God inspire you, or what was happening? Because you're in the service and you are writing too, there can be two conflicting thoughts.
Exactly. Yeah. I was in a service. What was inspiring me, it is, I think it's God who was inspiring me, because after I have gotten through all this channel and things have fell aside or have not succeeded as per my will or my wish, and then you get an idea or an inspiration on how to counterattack that mindset. So to me, it was not that what the preacher was preaching, it was my own the inspiration that God was dropping in my heart. And the service, even the minister was preaching something different, but I cannot tell you what he was preaching and what the topic was. But I ended up coming up with short notes, and from there I went and began writing afresh about that topic. And then it was my very, very first book. I have not published it, but that book is still there. Now I changed the title, and I put it Understanding the Maturity Symptoms.
Why haven't you posted it yet? Why do you feel like you don't need to publish it yet?
It is still in the process. I've written 7 books, but there is a reason why I started publishing the 4th book, because I was moving with times and seasons. The book is still there. It's still in the process. I know I'll come to publish it, but as its own time come. Yeah.
So you've written 7 books, right?
Yeah.
And you've said you dropped the first book you ever published was around the 4th book.
Yes.
Why did you write the first and put a second and put a third and still not produce? You know.
Beautiful. The 4th book, my 4th book is about cast the darkness or light a lamp in darkness, up to you. It's understanding the power of light in darkness. And this book came during the time of Corona season, that is 2019, the times when things were falling aside, when the nations of the world were crying, things were not, the economies of the world were shrinking, and people were crying all over. And then God spoke to me that now there's darkness everywhere. People are crying, families are crashing, people have lost hope. Can you speak to people about there is hope again? In the midst of this darkness, can you prove or can you speak to people and tell them that light can still be evident? So from that moment, that's when I got inspired to write about understanding the power of light in darkness. That however how much there is darkness in the world in the name of Corona, people are dying aimlessly. Things are going in a manner that nobody expected. Can you encourage and bring hope again and tell people that there's still light in this darkness, and people can learn to light up a lamp in the very darkness? Because when Corona came, darkness was everywhere. Everybody was thinking like he's the next victim. He can die anytime. Shaking of hands, you remember, even the method of shaking hands changed just because of the fear. And you know that time that really people fear death. Nobody's willing to die. And therefore, because of that darkness that came on board, I had to bring this book on board first, so that these other books will follow later. It was about a seasonal write-up.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So basically the isolation from Corona started something that you never thought would happen.
Yes, exactly. It began it.
And I believe that the Corona season actually changed a lot of people. Because at this moment, there was a lot of isolation.
Exactly.
Everywhere. Everybody knew that they're on the same level.
Exactly.
It didn't matter if you are rich or poor. All of us were in the house.
Exactly, yeah.
And that was a real game changer. So I want you to tell us about the titles of the books that you've dropped, and basically what they focus on and what message they try to put out there.
Oh, beautiful. The very first book we have been talking about, Understanding Maturity Symptoms. The book is talking about how to identify somebody who is mature, how to know if somebody is not mature, how to help somebody who is immature to come into a level of maturity. And one of the best statements that I've stated in that book is this one. If the boy you were yesterday wakes up and finds a man you are today, Will the boy wrestle with the man and tell him, mature up or grow up? I regret being the man you are today. And for the female part, or for the ladies, if the girl you are yesterday wakes up and find the lady you are, will the girl be proud of the woman you are, or will the girl say, I wish I knew I could not have become the woman you are today? So it's talking about maturity, learning how to cope up with the issues and the different environment to help you become a better person, because the maturity you have, the level of maturity you possess determines even the kind of life you live. That is the book 1. Book 2 is about you're born beautiful and handsome, don't die ugly. It's about dying alive after you have understood the beauty in you, working hard to expose the best capacity, the possibilities that have been endorsed inside you, or that has been attributed within your DNA, because each and everybody is born beautiful, has born handsome. Beautiful and handsome, it is metaphoric, talking about the inner ability, the capacity, the potential, the strength you carry that will help you leave a mark. When you die beautiful. That is, as you die like a soldier, you die like a winner, a victor, somebody who has what it takes to leave the world a better place.
Yes, and that is power given by God.
A power given by God. And everybody, by all means, has to work hard to identify that power. So that is about that book 2. And the book 3 is about 3 things you should know, not 3 things, 6 things you should know yourself before you die. It's talking about the hardest riddle of life between the day you are born and the day you die. The things you undergo in life and the things you meet in life, they are divinely positioned. Nothing just happens. But the moment you are born, you begin celebrating. People celebrate your birth. People are happy that you existed. But now, when you go, when you die, will still people be happy? Will they celebrate? Will there be our life well lived? It will be a true slogan, or it will be a certain kind of sugarcoating statements to help the mourners and the onlookers to hide something about this man. But then when you are born, when you are a good man, brought up in a good environment, you end up being a thief. Will people celebrate you? Or you end up having a certain kind of lifestyle that does not portray godly character in you. So 6 things you should know about yourself before you die helps you to live a well-fulfilled life, so that people will not only say you existed, but they also see things that you have done that will also become what we call legacy builder, or legacy branding within your environment. So that is the book for another. Yes.
So on book 4, can we say that this is kind of a guide that, let's say, God gave you on how maybe you should live as a man or as a human being? Was it led, or it's just something that came out of you?
One of the things that I've discovered with my writing is that every book is giving birth to another book. I find that I have a very unique subject that needs to be given what we call exegesis, and which cannot be well defined or well exposed within that book. So I isolate it and I give it an emphasis, or what you call, I use the law of emphatic in another book. Yeah. So I isolate it and say it will be found or be read in another new book coming. You see? Oh. So every book gives birth to another book. You understand? Yeah, yeah. Like the book I'm doing at the moment, it's about the beauty of getting married, being exposed and getting married to books. That is unraveling the infinite intelligence hidden in the covers and the pages of the books. It's a book that has been born from a book that I did about time management. So you see, the books are very chronological, or I can say they are progressive. They are giving progressive information. So it's about expanding an idea that was born in another book, or in a book that was being written during that time.
So basically every book motivates you more.
Every book.
Yeah.
In fact, by the time I'm getting through with this book, I'm at the book about reading, the beauty of getting exposed to and falling in love and getting exposed to book. Already have another book in mind. It's about life balance. And I've not even started writing. I want to get through with this, the 7th book first. Yeah. But another book has already come.
Oh,
that's how it works.
That's very nice. So let's get back to track.
Yeah.
We were on book 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So continue with book 4.
Yeah. So I talked about the book about time management. No. Not really. Have I talked about time management?
No.
Now, yes. Let's come to the book about time management, which is my 5th book. The book is talking about, excuse me, what is the time by your watch? How frequent do you watch your watch and do what it says? It's all about understanding the blessings of time. Because each and everybody, whether rich, poor, big, small, tall, fat, white, black, despite of the rest, everybody has been given the same measure of time. Now, it's upon how you maximize it that determines how you will tap into the blessings that the Lord has availed for you. Because the Bible says the rest is not for the swift, but time and chance happens to them all. That means we all have equal time. The difference between the rich and the poor is about time management. It's not about luck, as people think. It's not even about a degree holder or a certificate. We have so many doctors, master's degree holders, but they are very poor time managers and the poorest people on the face of the earth. And we have somebody who even has a certificate in any faculty or any field, but this guy can advise the doctor in certain field of life.
This is where the society says D plus or C plus students employ A class students.
Exactly.
Right?
Because life does not reward you on how educated you are, on the level of your education. It rewards you on how daring you are. The more you become daring, then you can beat, you can even overshadow that person with a doctor of any field or who is a professor in any field. So time management really brings us to a level of understanding that time now has to be used as a tool and not as a coach. You understand? As a tool. Anything that is a tool is used to sharpen, to equip, to make something better or to bring out something good. But when you use it as a tool, use it to sit. And then as you sit on it, instead of making you better or increasing your value, it is decreasing you, making you become worse than you were yesterday. So the time management factor helps us to understand that God has blessed us and our blessings are within time. It is everybody to go forth, to go ahead of himself and discover that time. And let me tell you something surprisingly. In the Garden of Eden, what was really happening, it is about time management. If Eve could have told the devil, get out of my sight, I have no time with you, then most likely, they could not have been deceived. But Eve he took her time to listen to the deception of the devil or to the Satan. But if she could have said, I have no time with you, then even the fall of man could not have come on board. But you see now how time mismanagement brought a dark moment in the whole of human history, and God came on board. And as God is coming on board, he's getting in consideration of time. He knew his mission and knew his purpose. And within 33 and a half years, that time frame, he has accomplished it. You get it? So even within our life, we are in terms of time. When I'm saying I am 33 years old, for instance, calculate my years in terms of months. You know you are months old. In terms of weeks, you know you are weeks old. In terms of days, hours, seconds, your time can be broken down into minutes and microseconds. So, and as every day comes on board, you are increasing in time. You get my point. So it's all about the blessings of time.
And at this time you're writing about this book, were you really managing your time?
Let me tell you, one of the good things about being an author is because the book, everything you write must have first changed you for it to change somebody. If it is not blessing you, if it has not blessed you, then be rest assured it cannot bless anybody. So for the first time I had a problem with time personally. Then I read some different books on time management, and they really inspired me, even because the authors were sharing their testimonies on how they have lost a lot when they mismanaged their time. So from there, I learned that if I have to be valuable and be effective and productive in life, and even in my time writing faculty, be as an author, I need to value time. You understand? Yeah. So I had a problem with time, but as I kept writing the book, it changed me. Because it also taught me that even writing a book, you need to have time, or you need to have time frame. You beat that time. If I say I want to write this book within 3 months, then I should not be a procrastinator. I should stick on that time until I accomplish it within that time frame.
That's very nice. So that was the 5th book on time management.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we move to the 6th book.
Okay, the 6th book is now this one. We are talking about the beauty of falling in love and being exposed to books. That is unraveling the infinite intelligence hidden in the covers and the pages of the books. It's all about reading, understanding how reading is important to anybody in life. You can imagine God Almighty, as great and powerful as He is, decided to put all of this information about Him in a book. That means failure to open that book, which is called the Bible, you cannot know Him. So if God wants us to know Him through a book, how do you expect us to grow in terms of knowledge and wisdom without reading? That is an indicator that by all means in life, we need to expose ourselves into reading. And reading means being diverse. Don't be selective when it comes to reading. Be diverse. Read anything, even if it doesn't make sense. Because through reading will help you get the opinion, the concept, the insight, the idea of that person. And if you have another counter-attacking concept that you feel that idea is very inferior to what you think, you bring up your argument also in another book, that maybe if that reader can get a challenge and improve to what he has been doing. So about reading, that means that people, especially in our African setup, in our African culture, a white man says the best way to hide something from an African is to put it in a book. Why is this man talking about this?
Actually, you said that, I remembered something.
Yeah.
And the white man actually says, if you want to become rich, you just need to read.
Yes.
But black people do not read.
Exactly.
Africans don't read. They think it's stress. They think it's slavery.
Exactly.
But that's where all the knowledge is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is where all the knowledge is. Because people who have failed, people who have made it in life, people who have succeeded in different dimensions of life, they have loved to expose their success in a book. You cannot meet them in a conference and they tell you everything within what they have written in a book, but their book is so detailed and they have given all the text, they have given their best in that book. So we as African countries, we can try to change this maxim or this slogan and say the best way to reveal something to an African is through a book. That means that we'll be fully giving our attention to reading. And by doing so, we improve our intelligence, we improve even our communication skills, we improve even our thinking, our creative thinking, divergent thinking, all kinds. So reading is the best way to any person who wants to become intelligent, who wants to become brilliant, and who wants to become brave in every patterns of life. And that's how people make it in life. And not only reading within the line of your profession. There are people say, I'm done with my degree. I will not go back to school again. I will not read again. You are doing more harm to you than good. Better read than you have never been in school. And don't read to chase certificates. How many people are going to chase certificates? They get them, and at the end of the day, tell them to tell you what they have acquired. They cannot even express themselves within 5 sentences. They cannot. Because some of them stole the exams. And they come, they have master's degree. How many doctors do we have in Kenya who cannot even express before?
They pay the lecturers.
They pay the lecturers. Some of them, these exams, they pay other students to do it for them. And then they come, I'm a doctor in divinity, a doctor in philosophy, and a philosophy who cannot even tell himself who he is or who she is within a 1 minute. So that is the kind of the people we are having in our society, and that's why I encourage people to read beyond their books and beyond their line of profession.
Yeah, that's very nice.
Yeah.
So, and this is the 6th book that you've published, right?
Not yet published.
Yeah.
This is the book that is still in the process, and it will be very through by the end of, God willing, by the end of this next month, then it will go to the publishing.
Yeah. So 7 books.
Yeah.
So, you've said you've written 7 books, and I know there have been many challenges.
Exactly.
What are some of the challenges that you faced while writing and also in publishing?
Some people think writing is easy, but let me tell you something. Writing is one of the difficult job or difficult faculty to venture in more than reading. You may think reading is difficult, but writing is more difficult than reading. Reading is so easy because you are doing what you are just looking at what has been made available. So one of the biggest challenge in writing is that you sometimes lack the content, because you need to continue to have a progressive writing so that the thoughts, the flow, there should be a flow of your thoughts, but at which a point there are no content, no points. So you are forced to go back again and do a lot of intensive, extensive reading, because you need to come up with a content that is inspiring, that is quality, that is really has that what it takes for publishers to accept it. So you must make sure that you are coming up with a content that is of quality, not just a shallow one in terms of structure, language, accusation, in terms of the flow of thoughts, in terms of quality. So it must be quality. So we reach a point. Sometimes I wake up in the morning, because I always know my inspiration moment from 4 to 5 in the morning. So sometimes I wake up after praying, now waiting for the inspiration to come to progress with my chapter. Nothing is coming. So I'm forced to go back and sleep and wait for to capture another moment of inspiration. So that time really becomes a challenge. Another thing is that you find that you have multiple of tasks to undertake, and at the same time writing needs you. So balance becomes a bit also challenging, because family is waiting for you. A job is, I told you I'm an electrical technician. You are still in the process of writing, and a client calls you, Fred, where are you? I have a problem here in my house. Come and check for me. Electricity, blah, blah, blah. So you are like, should I leave? And that time the points were flowing. Progressively, you are so happy, you are so enjoying the writing, and you are forced to cut short.
So it also kind of messes up your psychology.
It messes up your thoughts. You are like, so because this is money, you don't have to leave. You cannot leave money, and this money is what you need to keep publishing. So you are forced, no, I should stop this work and run there, get that 1,000 or 2,000 to come on. The points will find their track later. So it becomes a challenge. So another thing is that you find that you have published, but finances you have written, but the finances to publish becomes a challenge. Like I remember when I published that book about understanding the power of light in darkness. You can imagine the book was written in 2019, but I published the book 2023 is when I published it. So all that time, you find that every place you go, the cost of publishing is so high. You are like, you don't know anybody. You see, now I'm venturing in a field whereby I don't have any godfather, nobody I know in the field who is an author. I'm trying to look at within my family lineage who has tried to venture into that line. Nobody. So I'm the only person trying to navigate within the storms to find a way out. But I thank God at the end of the day, I stumbled on one of the publishing company within a Facebook social media platform, whereby we got engaged and helped me cross that line, and that's how my first book was published. So those are some of the challenges that we get. But what I know, that everything that happens within your way, if you are determined enough and consistent enough within that line where God has positioned you, then you can by all means get a breakthrough. Yeah, so challenges, those I've just mentioned some of the challenges. There are so many, but those are major, and those that affect different others, and we vary depending on the nature and the type of the publishing you do.
So you said you never had anybody to hold your hand and guide you.
Exactly.
But you still overcame those challenges.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know, who are some of the others that actually inspired you to write?
Okay. Let me say I've been writing, but there are people before that. There are books I've been reading. One of the books that I really loved to read is about possibility. It's written by John Mason, making impossible be possible. Making impossible be possible. It's about possibilities. So through reading his book, he has inspired me. And even the style of writing, the way he has approached his content, the structure, the way he loved to put the quotations within his books really inspired me. And one of also another book that inspired me, another author, is called Robert Liardon. Robert Liardon is an author of God's Generals, why some failed and some succeeded. This guy has written this book to bring out the people of God, to expose the people of God who are used by God powerfully during those years of 90s and 80s. I mean 19th century and 18th century. And when I've been reading his books every now and then, I've been inspired because I've seen a lot of commitment and dedication. Because somebody to bring up a history of an individual from years back, that when he was not even existing, going to do research, going extra mile to search information and documentation just to gather them together and write about somebody. So I saw somebody who is dedicated and asked myself, if this person has taken his or his time to gather information about somebody that he heard of and he was not there when he existed, how about me just coming up and inspiring people, writing things that are becoming non-fiction? Then I found it is possible. So those are the main people who motivated me.
So they kept you going and kept you alive.
Exactly.
Motivated you and made you a better man, basically.
Exactly, yeah.
So you've written 7 books, but the ones that you've published, which do you feel had the greatest impact and why? Because they have different messages.
Exactly. One of the books that I feel it has really brought a big impact is about Excuse Me, What's the Time by Your Watch. And this is the book that even made me to be called in KBC TV to be interviewed when one of the media personality stumbled on my book. I happened to be in Nairobi University and she had a time with the head officer, the procurement officer. And this guy was a friend to one of the media guy within KBC. So he happened to see my book. She happened to get my book. Then she called me in their station to have a time and interview about the book. So the book has opened, let me say, big doors for me, because that book, so far I've not yet launched it, but the book, I think it has sold around 380 copies so far, and I've not done the launching of that book.
That's a lot of books.
Yes.
Yes.
It has really done, it is really doing well on the market. So that is the book that when somebody sees the topic, the main subject, excuse me what the time by your watch, and he discovers that he has a problem with time, then he really wants, or she really wants to know what is more about time. So it helped me also to discover that many people have a problem with time, and they really want to get nuggets, to get insights on how they can improve on their time management. So the book has gone in different parts of my country. It is even in Nuria bookstores in Nairobi. It is in Mombasa, in one of the publishing company. I've just forgotten the name. It is in every part of this country, and it is even in online, and it is really doing well. Why? Because if you really know the problem where the people are facing, the problem the main people are facing, and you show them this is a problem, and you show them how to solve it, then they will go for it. Yeah.
So from the thought process that you've actually explained, I've actually understood that writing requires a lot of discipline.
Exactly.
Can you say that writing has a time frame? Can you write a book in 1 year, in 6 months? What kind of discipline do you have to put in yourself, and what is required basically to even write a book? What time frame is required?
First of all, I want you to understand it this way. There is no author who is a lazy reader. An author has to be a dedicated, committed, somebody who has given him or herself fully in reading. That means a week should not end when you have not finished reading any book. Last week I was doing another book called Atomic Habits, done by James Clear. And I was coming to understand that there are small habits you develop in life, and they build you into another better person. So that book has helped me even to conceive new ideas on how to become a good author, because I must have a habit, a certain kind of character to help me be dedicated. A discipline number one for a good author is to be a good reader, and not just reading to pass time or to enjoy yourself, but reading to get more ideas, to expand your thinking faculty and your upstairs. That is the discipline number one. About being timely on writing, it's very important. It helps you to avoid what we call, you see, you are doing something but you have no deadline. So you say, even if it goes to up to next year, I have no problem. Even if it takes 3 months, I have no problem. Why? Everything that is done within no timeline, you may end up getting even the whole of 1 year without accomplishing it. Now, there's one rule of being a visionary in life. You need to be smart. It is called SMART. That means specific. If you write it down line, SMAT is specific. You need to be specific. You need to be measurable. You need to be timeline, attainable. So you need to all be smart and be able to attain everything accordingly. If you don't do that, then you will end up procrastinating. That's why for me, I always say, if this book, the maximum time it has to take for me is 3 months, then I work within that time. There are some books, it is a bit challenging because they engage a lot of research. If you are doing autobiography of someone's life and you need documentation from another source, it may take long because maybe you depend from other source to get the information. So for that one, we can understand. But for non-fiction, like what I do, you need to make sure that you are timeline. Those are some of the discipline you need to engage in.
So you have to force yourself to have a timeline.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've said you've already published and you're also writing more books.
Exactly.
But I want to ask, what is the future of Frederick? Does Frederick write forever until he's 90? What does he do?
Good. That's a good question.
Yeah.
You see, somebody said, if you cannot write something worth reading, then do something worth writing. Somebody will sit down and write. It will help us to know there was somebody who did ABCD. That's what we call building legacy. I'm on a journey. I'm on a race to build a legacy in my life. I told you I'm a trained electrician, certified EPRA electrician. I'm a mentor. I am a praise and worship trainer. I'm a motivational speaker. I am a praise and worship trainer. So all these things has to all be moving to a certain direction. At the end of the day, I want to help people bridge the gap between their dreams and reality. I will write as long as I live. Why? Because I want to leave a good name behind. If you have been of late following social media, there's this guy called Charlie Kick. He has been trending on social media. I don't know if you have heard of him.
Yes, he's the guy who got shot, right?
He was shot.
Yeah.
They see on the founder of Turning Point USA. Why is the social media breaking loose because of this guy? Why is his name everywhere? Because of what he has left behind. You follow clearly and found this guy has done tremendous things in the kingdom of God and within his environment. The whole of my USA is shouting his name everywhere. Even the big names, the big people have mentioned him. Why? Because of what is left behind. So my aim and my desire and my prayer and my biggest will in life, wish that is to do great things that will leave a big name behind. And even my generation will say, there I used to be. If I will not be able to do somebody wearing and you feel I've done a good job, somebody will read my book somewhere and say, I read a book written by somebody. I don't know this person. I've never met him, but he has changed my life. I believe there are so many people who have sharpened your life, but you have never met them. Yes, that's how it happens. So I'm writing. I'm there to write. I will write as pattern of my life.
Speaking of that, so you write forever and ever.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, so you've said about Charlie Kirk, right? So I want to know, what do you want people to remember Frederick Wafula for? What kind of man? When they see Frederick Wafula, what do you want them to say or think?
Wow. I want people, when the name Fred Wafula comes in their mind, or when they remember that name, they remember somebody who was a passionate writer, a motivational speaker who motivated and changed their life. I want people to remember somebody who has passionately changed their life through their writings. Somebody who has motivated and changed their perspective. Because the reality of life that people are giving up each and every second, the level of depression in life is going up very high. And people are dying inside and they're lacking somebody who can tell them, show them that it is possible, there's still future, they can make it, they can see ahead, they open up their eyes and see the brighter future. So I want people to see somebody who have motivated them and has done great, tremendous things in their life. You see, before I forget this, I don't know if you have attended funerals several times. If somebody is speaking in a funeral or sharing a testimony in a funeral, and you are like, this guy could have just kept quiet. He's making noise. What he's speaking even does not make sense. He's giving views or he's talking about things that even they are not a reality. He's just giving track record of lies just because of this person. What he's saying is not a real. But I want somebody stands and say, this man called Fred Wafula is a man who has changed my life. Is a man who have changed everything concerning me, and I have seen hope and life through him, through his books. In short, I just want people to remember me as a man who has changed, transformed their life.
That's very nice. That's very nice. So now, coming to the closing of this, there are others who are there who are young, have not produced their first book. What advice would you give them?
They should know, first of all, the breakfast of every champion is not cereals, it's all obstacles. And every champion in life, despite of any field, has to undergo obstacles. So if somebody is thinking of being an author, he should be ready to get obstacles. They are there to stay. They come, they don't, they will always be persistent. But we should build capacity in life or within themselves that could be able to counterattack these challenges. They should be committed, serious readers if they want to become quality writers or authors, because the books get in the hands of people who have a higher level of education, professors, and when they look at you, what you have written, they are like shallow, think that even they are not connecting. The points are they are flowing in different direction. They are like, this person should go back to the nursery school and begin learning about writing. So they should be serious readers. Before I write any book, I always read different around 6 books from the same subject, but in written by different people and different manner, so that I can cook up my own ideas and concepts to align myself, so that even the people who have written about time management come and see this book, they'll say, I have a different knowledge, very powerful one, that means if I could have topped up on what I have written, could have made my book better. So the upcoming author should be prepared for challenges. They are come, and they should be committed and serious, and they should not do it as a trial and error. Do it like, even the book does not sell, do it again. You never know which book opens the doors where and how. The book may stumble to one of the greatest men in the history of the world, and it opens doors for you, and you find yourself in every corner of this continent.
True.
Yeah.
So people want to know exactly where can they get your books?
Oh, beautiful. My books are found in different social media platforms. For those who are in Nairobi, if they visit Nuria bookstores, they'll get my books there. I have put all of them there. For those who are within Mombasa coastal side, there's a publishing company called Seaside Publishers. They are located within Mombasa town. They visit there, they get my books. And maybe you cannot be able to get them through all those bookstores or bookshops. There is an online bookstore called Zania Bookstore, online bookstore. They sell books through online. I've also put my books there. They sell them across Africa. They just log in Zania Bookstores. They get the books there. Excuse me at the time by your watch. Understanding the Power of Light in Darkness. They are there. And maybe people can call me directly. You can call me through my phone number, which I will mention before we end this show, and you'll be able to get the books.
So as a matter of fact, as we finish, can you just talk to your people? Because you've said you're a jack of all trades. Can you talk to your fans and just tell them a parting shot as we finish?
Wow, beautiful. Thank you so much for those who have joined us in this beautiful live show. As I said, Frederick Wafula is my name, and I've said I'm a coat of many colors, and God has helped me by the grace to discover myself. Being a motivational speaker, being a youth mentor, being an elder, being a praise and worship trainer, and being also a preacher, it is by the grace of God. And once you discover all these things, you will be able to become a unique person in life. That's how our value, or your value, increases. I pray to God that also you discover what you have, and that's your value increases. You can get me, we can partner. At the moment, I have an initiative called Foresee Motivations and Advisory Networks. I'm recruiting people who are capable of doing motivational talks, mentorship programs. So if you are willing, you can join me. We do this work together, make the world a better place to be, and impact our generation. Yeah.
So thank you for that. That was beautiful. To everyone who has been watching, thank you for your likes, shares, subscribes, and comments. We will see you next time. This was MDR TV Hustle Files.